Love is not told, it is shown. It is easy for anyone to say the right words, to string together sweet promises, or to declare feelings in moments of excitement, but words without action are fragile. They disappear as quickly as they are spoken. Real affection is measured not in what someone says, but in what they consistently do. When affection is real, it takes form through gestures, through patience, through the unspoken ways a person shows up again and again. Words may sparkle for a moment, but it is consistency in action that builds trust, safety, and true intimacy. Think of how a person behaves when they care. They do not just say they are there for you, they actually show up when you need them most. They notice your moods, they anticipate your needs, they listen not only to your words, but also to the silence in between. When someone genuinely loves you, their actions align with their declarations. They do not promise to stand by you, they demonstrate it every single day in small, almost invisible ways that accumulate into something unshakable. Actions reveal character more deeply than words ever can. Someone can say they respect you, but respect is shown in how they treat you when you disagree, when you are vulnerable, when you are not at your best. Someone can say they value you, but value is shown in the choices they make, in the time they dedicate, in the sacrifices they are willing to bear. Words may create intention, but only actions create reality. That is why genuine affection is never loud. It doesn't need to be repeated constantly, because it is already present in how a person chooses to behave every single day. Real love is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is as simple as checking in on you after a long day, remembering the little things you said weeks ago, or adjusting their routine to make space for you. Sometimes it shows itself in patience during conflict, in forgiveness when mistakes happen, or in encouragement when you doubt yourself. These things do not always come with declarations, but they are far more powerful than the most passionate speeches. In fact, it is usually in the quietest moments that love proves itself the loudest. Consistency is what separates real affection from empty promises. Anyone can be loving for a day, a week, or even a few months, but genuine love does not fade when excitement wears off. It continues through routine, through challenges, through the ordinary days when life feels unremarkable. The true test of affection is not how passionately someone loves you at the start, but how steadily they love you when the novelty has passed. It is the repeated choice, the decision to remain present, that reveals the depth of their care. Actions also speak because they demand effort. Words can be said without cost, but to act in love requires time, energy, and sometimes even sacrifice. When someone chooses to put your needs alongside their own, when they remember to prioritize your well-being, when they consider how their actions affect you, that is proof of something much deeper than sentiment. It means they are not just thinking about themselves, they are living with you in mind. Love shown through action builds a foundation of trust. You stop needing to ask whether their words are true because you can feel their truth in how they live. You no longer doubt their affection because it becomes evident in the rhythm of everyday life. Over time, this consistency creates a sense of safety. You know where you stand not because they remind you constantly, but because their presence, their reliability, and their steady devotion leave no room for doubt. The irony is that when love is shown rather than told, words become unnecessary. You no longer need reassurance because the evidence is everywhere. It is in the way they look at you, in the way they listen, in the way they choose you when life gives them 100 distractions. Real affection may not always sound dramatic, but it feels undeniable. And in the end, love that is shown is always stronger than love that is only spoken. Small sacrifices reveal big truths. It is not always in grand gestures that love announces itself, but in the quiet, almost invisible adjustments someone makes in the rhythm of daily life. These are the sacrifices that do not demand attention, that are not performed for applause, but come naturally because love shifts priorities. When affection is genuine, she does not need to declare her loyalty in dramatic speeches. You notice it in the subtle choices she makes, in the way she bends her comfort to ease yours, in the silent recalibration of her world so that you are considered in every detail. Think about the mornings when she wakes earlier than she has to, just to make sure you are cared for. She does not announce the sacrifice, she simply does it because your well-being matters to her. Or the evenings when she is tired, yet she still listens to you without rushing, because your thoughts, your struggles, your victories feel as important to her as they do to you. These moments may seem small, but they are not accidental. They are intentional acts of love, sacrifices woven into the fabric of ordinary days. True affection rarely shows itself through words alone. Anyone can promise devotion, anyone can declare affection loudly, but what sets love apart is the willingness to give without expecting something in return. She may adjust her schedule to fit yours. She may learn to enjoy things that never interested her before simply because they matter to you. She may compromise in conflicts not out of weakness, but out of a desire to protect the bond you share. Every small concession, every subtle act of patience, becomes proof that her love is not self-centered. These sacrifices matter because they cost something. To give up comfort, to rearrange priorities, to put someone else's happiness alongside your own is never effortless. But when she chooses to do it without keeping score, it reveals the depth of her feelings. Love that is real does not ask, "What do I get in return?" It asks, "What can I give without losing myself?" And in those small sacrifices, you see the truth of her commitment. Sacrifice in love is not about erasing individuality. It does not mean she abandons her own dreams or silences her own needs. It means she finds a balance, reshaping her world so it includes you. She still pursues her path, but she leaves room for your steps beside hers. Sometimes that looks like declining an invitation because she knows you need time together. Sometimes it looks like holding her tongue during an argument, not because she has nothing to say, but because she values the relationship more than winning the moment. These are the little truths hidden in sacrifice. Love values connection over ego, harmony over pride. When sacrifices are genuine, they are not transactional. She does not remind you of them later. She does not demand recognition because the reward for her is in the act itself. The fact that you are at ease, that you feel supported, that your life is lighter, this is what makes the sacrifice worthwhile. Love is revealed not in what is taken, but in what is freely given. Even when she knows you may not notice, she still does it, because love does not calculate. Over time, these little adjustments accumulate into something undeniable. You may begin to realize that her presence brings a sense of steadiness, a quiet assurance that you are considered in every part of her life. And though the sacrifices may be small, they speak loudly of loyalty, of devotion, of love that is not temporary. They tell the truth that she is not simply with you out of convenience, she is with you out of choice again and again. It is in these sacrifices that the greatest truths of love are revealed. They may never be announced with words, they may never be accompanied by applause, but they are real and they are constant. And once you recognize them, you understand that genuine love is not proven by what someone says, it is proven by what they quietly give away so that the bond can grow stronger. Vulnerability is a sign of trust. When a woman opens her heart, shares her fears, and exposes her insecurities, it is not a display of weakness, but a profound act of courage. To allow another person into the fragile spaces of the soul requires something much greater than strength of words. It requires emotional safety. Vulnerability is never given lightly. It is the deepest form of evidence that she feels secure enough to be seen without armor, without masks, without the rehearsed perfection that most people show to the world. Think about how human nature works. Most people spend their lives protecting themselves from judgment, rejection, and disappointment. They polish their surfaces, they hide their flaws, they show only the parts of themselves they believe will be accepted. So when she allows you to see the parts she has hidden from everyone else, it means she trusts you not just with her presence, but with her very essence. Vulnerability is the highest compliment love can give because it says, I believe you will not use this against me. I believe you will hold me instead of harm me. When she loves you genuinely, she begins to reveal her fears, the doubts that haunt her, the insecurities that whisper in her mind, the scars from her past that still ache. She shares these not because she enjoys revisiting pain, because she feels safe enough to let you into the chapters of her story that shaped her. She knows these parts could be misunderstood, but her trust in you outweighs her fear of exposure. It is through vulnerability that intimacy deepens, because love is not built on the highlights of who we are, but on the totality of our humanity. Vulnerability is not dramatic. It often shows itself in quiet moments. It could be the way her voice shakes when she tells you about a failure that still lingers in her memory. It could be the hesitation before she admits she is afraid of losing you. It could be the raw honesty in her eyes when she confesses a dream she has never told anyone because she feared being laughed at. Each of these moments is a doorway into her inner world, and by walking through it gently, you honor the trust she has placed in you. Many mistake vulnerability for weakness, but it is the opposite. Weakness hides, weakness avoids exposure. Vulnerability requires bravery because it risks being hurt, yet chooses to trust anyway. It says, I am willing to be seen even if it means I might be rejected. That kind of courage cannot exist without love, and it cannot exist without the safety of knowing the other person values authenticity over perfection. When she shows vulnerability, she is inviting you to do the same. It creates a mirror effect where both of you can drop the performances and meet each other in truth. Walls come down, masks fall away, and suddenly the relationship becomes more than surface-level attraction. It becomes a bond rooted in authenticity. Trust grows stronger, intimacy deepens, and love becomes something you can feel in the silence between words. It is easy to be with someone during their strong moments when they are confident and composed. But real love is proven in the moments of fragility, when the facade is gone and the raw human underneath emerges. If she lets you see her tears, her doubts, her deepest questions, it is not because she is weak. It is because she is strong enough to trust you with her heart. And that trust is the most sacred proof of love you will ever be given. Consistency beats intensity. True love is not measured by how bright it burns at the beginning, but by how steady it remains over time. Passion is exciting, and intensity can feel intoxicating, but those sparks alone are not enough to sustain something real. The true proof of love is not found in grand gestures or dramatic moments, but in the quiet, reliable presence that shows up day after day. Love that endures does not demand constant fireworks. It thrives in the rhythm of consistency. In the ordinary days where nothing extraordinary happens except the fact that you are still there for each other, it is easy to fall in love with intensity. In the beginning, emotions are heightened, attention is sharp, and every interaction feels alive with energy. But intensity is often temporary. It fades when routine sets in, when flaws surface, when the excitement of newness is replaced by the reality of everyday life. What separates genuine love from temporary infatuation is whether the affection continues after the thrill fades. Consistency is what remains when the spark quiets. It is the steady flame that keeps burning when the fireworks have long disappeared. Consistency means she chooses you not only in moments of passion, but in moments of boredom, stress, and imperfection. It is in the simple acts checking in with you, remembering the little details you mentioned in passing, making time for you even on the busiest days. It is in the way she treats you the same on ordinary Tuesdays as she does on anniversaries. Her affection is not seasonal, not dependent on mood, not something that fades when life gets complicated. It shows up quietly, reliably, without needing to be announced. Intensity can impress, but it cannot sustain. Anyone can plan a grand romantic gesture once, but consistency is waking up every day and deciding to love again, even when it is not easy, even when it requires effort. Consistency is being present not just for celebration but for struggles, not just for victories but for failures. When she truly loves you, she does not disappear when the energy dips. She remains, grounding the relationship in stability. What makes consistency powerful is that it builds trust. You learn over time that her words are not empty because her actions always follow. You stop questioning whether she cares because she has proven it through reliability. Love becomes less about reassurance and more about knowing. Her presence becomes predictable in the best possible way, something you can depend on like gravity. That predictability does not make love boring, it makes it safe, and from that safety grows deeper intimacy. Consistency also shows respect. It means she honors the bond enough not to take it for granted, not to let days slip by without nurturing it. She understands that love is like a garden. It does not thrive on one flood of water, but on regular care. A single intense gesture cannot replace the steady investment of time, attention, and presence. In her consistency, she proves that she values not just the highs of the relationship, but the everyday fabric of it. The beauty of consistency is that it turns love into a habit, into a rhythm that shapes both lives. Over time, you realize that her reliability has given you something rare in a world full of uncertainty. You begin to feel anchored, supported, understood. And while intensity may capture attention, it is consistency that builds the kind of love that lasts. Passion may spark the connection, but it is the steady choice to show up every day that keeps it alive. Respect is the foundation. Without it, love collapses under the weight of control, insecurity, and unspoken resentment. Real love is never about domination or the need to mold someone into a version that fits personal desires. Instead, it is about mutual admiration and dignity, about seeing the other as a whole individual with their own thoughts, choices, and dreams, and choosing to honor that individuality. Respect is the silent architecture that holds love steady when emotions fluctuate. It ensures that affection does not turn into possession, that closeness does not suffocate, and that passion does not blur into control. When love is genuine, respect flows naturally. It is shown in how two people listen to each other, how they value each other's perspectives, even when they disagree. Respect means creating space for differences without belittling them. It means recognizing that the other person is not an extension of you, but a partner walking alongside you. Where control demands obedience, respect celebrates individuality. Where control silences, respect listens. Where control diminishes, respect uplifts. This is why love without respect quickly becomes toxic, while love grounded in respect becomes unshakable. Respect reveals itself in the smallest interactions. It is in the way she pays attention to your words instead of dismissing them. It is in how she supports your ambitions without mocking them, even when they seem far from reach. It is in the patience she shows during conflict, choosing dialogue over insult, resolution over destruction. Respect does not mean avoiding disagreements, it means engaging in them with care, ensuring that dignity is never sacrificed for the sake of being right. Real love never seeks to control, because control is rooted in fear, the fear of loss, the fear of inadequacy, the fear of not being enough. Respect, on the other hand, is rooted in trust. It trusts that love is strong enough to withstand individuality. That closeness does not require erasing boundaries. When she truly respects you, she does not try to restrict you. She gives you the freedom to grow, the encouragement to pursue what matters to you, and the assurance that your identity will never be diminished in the name of the relationship. Respect also means valuing the unspoken needs, the quiet boundaries, the invisible lines that make each person feel safe. It is about knowing when to give space, when to offer comfort, and when to simply listen. Genuine love is not a competition of control, but a collaboration of care. Each person learns to hold the other with both gentleness and strength, ensuring that neither feels unseen or unheard. Over time, respect transforms the relationship into a partnership where both individuals feel valued. Instead of power struggles, there is balance. Instead of manipulation, there is honesty. Instead of fear, there is trust. She admires you not just for what you give her, but for who you are. You feel her respect not in declarations, but in how she treats you consistently, with dignity, with kindness, with genuine appreciation for your presence in her life. What makes respect foundational is that it sustains love through change. Beauty fades, passion shifts, circumstances evolve, but respect endures. It ensures that even when disagreements arise, even when challenges test the bond, the relationship never loses its sense of worth and honor. To be loved is beautiful, but to be loved with respect is transformative. It means being seen not only with affection, but with recognition of your humanity, your individuality, and your dignity. Her vision includes you. The future she dreams of isn't about, it's about we. This is one of the most profound signs of genuine love. When she no longer imagines her life as a solitary journey, but begins to weave you into the fabric of her tomorrow. It is not spoken in every sentence, nor does she always announce it directly, but it shows itself in the little ways she talks about the future, the plans she makes, the dreams she shares. Her choices, her goals, her desires, they begin to carry your presence within them, silently affirming that she does not just love you in the present, but intends to carry that love into the years ahead. This inclusion does not mean she abandons her individuality. It means she reframes her individuality to coexist with partnership. She still has ambitions, still pursues her passions, still follows her calling, but now she imagines you walking beside her through it all. When she envisions a home, you are in it. When she speaks of traveling, she uses wit instead of I. When she talks about the milestones she hopes to reach, she subtly or openly includes your role in them. This is not simply romantic language, it is the natural way love shapes perspective. The horizon she once saw alone now stretches wide enough to fit two. When her vision includes you, her decisions begin to reflect more than just her personal desires. She considers how her actions might affect the relationship, how her steps align with your shared path, and how her dreams can grow alongside yours instead of against them. She does not sacrifice her future, she enriches it by blending it with yours. This is the essence of partnership, not one life swallowing the other, but two lives intertwining, creating something stronger, more expansive, and more meaningful. This vision also speaks to commitment. Many people can enjoy the present moment, but not everyone is willing to imagine the future with someone else. When she includes you in her vision, it means she is not treating the relationship as temporary. It means she trusts the bond enough to picture years ahead, and that trust comes only from deep affection and a sense of safety. She is not afraid to say, I see us together, even if life remains unpredictable, because her love has given her the courage to plan with hope instead of fear. Her vision may reveal itself in subtle phrases. She might say, one day when we'll, or if we ever have, or when we get older. These are not just casual words, they are glimpses into her mind, evidence that when she projects her life forward, you are already part of the picture. She does not speak in isolation, because she no longer thinks in isolation. Her life has become plural, her dreams have become shared, her story has become intertwined with yours. It is also in the sacrifices she is willing to make for that vision. If her career, her location, or her lifestyle require adjustments, she considers those adjustments not as losses but as steps toward a greater gain, the building of a life with you. This is love translated into planning, into choosing, into orienting her life so that the path she walks is one you can share. The beauty of her vision including you is that it makes love practical. It transforms affection from something that exists only in emotions to something that lives in decisions, choices, and plans. It moves love from the fleeting realm of passion into the steady realm of partnership. And in that partnership, you discover that the most powerful proof of love is not only in how she treats you now, but in how she imagines you tomorrow.